As we discussed in previous part, that Imam Azam Abu Hanifa says sale will not be executed, and but Sahiban said Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad Asai Shabani that the sale will be executed in permissible and not executed in prohibited things. What is the reason behind their views? No, reason is wajhu. Here, wajhu qawlihima anna al-fasada biqadr al-mufsid. The reason behind the views of Qawlihima mean the views of these two. Who are those two? Sahiban, Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad. The reason behind their view is that Anna al-Fasad biqadr al-Mufsid. This is that irregularity, corruption, irregularity exist till the limit of the cause of irregularity. Al-Mufsid, the cause of irregularity, which are creating irregulation. So if irregulation is removed, then there will be no irregularity in the contract, then a contract will be considered valid. यानी साहिबान का कहना ये है कि अक्द के अंदर, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर जिसकी वजह से फसाद आ रहा हो, अगर वो वजह ही खत्म हो जाए तो फिर पूरा अक्द आप कैसे कह सकते हैं कि वो खराब हो जाएगा। तो फसाद सिर्फ उस हद तक रहेगा जिस जिस हद तक वो फसाद का रीजन एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है। इट्स का मतलब ये हुआ कि इट्स मीन दैट इरेगुलरिटी वाज एग्जिस्टिंग इन वाइन, the irregularity was not existing in the bottle of juice. Why? After it is after the disclosure of separate prices. When there was just only one price, there was fasad. And what was that fasad? Uncertainty regarding price. That what is the price for bottle of juice? What is the price for the bottle of wine? There was uncertainty in the determination of the price for two separate commodities. So that was the fasad, because that fasad was existing in bottle of juice price, in the bottle of wine price. So that is why here at that time in one quoted price, the all jurists said that even Sahiban also said that the contract was not permissible. But when price has been disclosed separately and said that this specific price 1000 rupee for bottle of juice, 1000 rupee for bottle of wine, now Sahiban says that uncertainty, a gharar in price has been removed in the case of bottle of juice. So that is why there is no fasad in this bottle of juice. Now price is certain, so that is why the sale contract will be considered valid in the bottle of juice. But because the bottle of wine, though price has been disclosed, but still here is fasad. And what is the fasad? That it is haram, it is prohibited. So that is why the contract in wine will be considered invalid. So this is the explanation and reason of the Sahiban's opinion, that why they said that partially contract will be considered valid and other part of the contract it will not be executed. Okay, now move forward. What is the reason of the Imam Azam Abu Hanifa? He said that the contract will not be considered valid. Wali Abi Hanifata radiyallahu anhu, he said that anna safqata wahida. He said that it is not tafarruq as-safaqa. He said that it is ittihadu safaqa. We will the Sahiban considered it after price, detailed price. It means that when the seller quoted separate prices, according to Sahiban, it is tafarruqus safaqa, two separate transactions in one transaction. But according to Imam Azam Abu Hanifa, if the seller disclosed two separate prices, it means that he gave detailed disclosure of the prices. So according to Imam Abu Hanifa, detailed disclosure of prices does not make one transaction into two transactions. It will remain still one transaction. So that is why Imam Abu Hanifa considered this sale as a ittihadu safaqa, mean he says that this is unified transaction, as-safaqatu wahida. Waqad fasadat fi ahadihima, he says that when it is a one transaction, when transaction is considered irregular in one asset, in one commodity, فَلَا تَصِحُ فِي الْآخِرِ, then it cannot be, transaction cannot be considered valid in other commodity. وَتَفْرِيقُ الثَّمَنِ, and the disclosure of the price. Though he said that bottle of wine for 1000 rupee, bottle of juices for 1000 rupee, he quoted two separate prices for two commodities. So Imam Abu Hanifa says this such price disclosure does not does not does not stop the safaka to be considered as does not negate the unification of safaka. He says that it will still remain safaka. It will not be considered tafarruq safaka, two separate transactions. It will remain one safaka, because Imam Abu Hanifa says that for tafarruq safaka, it is required that seller must repeat the word of I sold. Beato, I sold this bottle of juice for 1000 rupee and this bottle of wine for 1000 rupee. Then Imam Abu Hanifa says when he will repeat two when he will repeat the words of I sold with two different prices, then it will be considered a tafarruq safaka. Otherwise, it will be considered ittihadu safaka. So that is why Imam Abu Hanifa says that this is ittihadu safaka, not tafarruq safaka. So hence, it has been proved that safaka is single. When safka is single, Imam Abu Hanifa says that it is not possible for single safaka that we consider it valid and we consider it invalid simultaneously. So it is not possible. Either it would be valid, either it would be considered invalid. So this is the reason, and this is the evidence of Imam Azam Abu Hanifa. He said that no, this transaction will not be considered valid if he just quoted separate prices and he did not repeat the word I sold. So if he said I sold this bottle of juice for 1000 rupee and this bottle of wine for 1000 rupee, so according to Imam Abu Hanifa, this contract will be considered invalid. It will not be considered partially valid in juice and invalid in wine. No, complete transaction will be considered invalid, because here tafriqus safaka is not allowed. It is ittihadus safaka. So this is the reason of Imam Azam Abu Hanifa. So next thing is the same thing, that walihada lam yasiha iza lam yusammi likulli wahid minhuma samanan. So Imam Abu Hanifa says that either he quote one price for two or he quote separate prices for these two. In both cases, it will not be considered tafarruq safaka. It will be considered ittihadu safaka. Tafarruq safaka will be considered only when the seller will disclose two prices with the repetition of words of to, takrar or bay. When he will repeat, I sold two with bottle of wine, I sold with bottle of juice, he will repeat, then we will say that this is tafarruqul safaka. Then Imam Abu Hanifa says that if he says I sold this bottle of wine for 1000 rupee, this bottle of juice for 1000 rupee, then Imam Abu Hanifa says that we will say that the sale will be executed valid in bottle of juice and we will say invalid in bottle of wine. Then we will say that this is tafarruq safaka. Partially contract is allowed, partially contract is not allowed, but without repetition of I sold, then we will say it that it is still ittihadus safaka. So this is the explanation of all those terms we have covered in this part and in the previous parts, that what is the meaning of ittihadus safaka, tafarruqus safaka, ta'addudus safaka, and tardidus safaka. Tardidus safaka mean that when the buyer accept one transaction and reject other transaction, we will say that where the rejection will exist, we will say hada tardeedu tafaqa, ye aqd ko rad kar diya aapne. For example, if a person says that I sell this commodity for this price and I sell this commodity for this price, the guy says that okay, I will buy just this one and not buy this one. Because he said that I will not buy this one, so he rejected, उसने तरदीद की, उसने रद्द कर दिया, तो हम कहते हैं now this is known as तरदीद सफका. So this is the meaning of तरदीद सफका. So all of these terms we got understand after. Now this series has been ended about the terminologies. Now it would be good to understand the concept of combination of contracts. Now it will be very easy for students and researchers and Islamic financial engineers to concept to rightly understand, easily understand the idea of combination of contracts, that which contracts can be combined and which contracts cannot be combined. Inshallah, I will explain in the other parts, and I will upload the lecture soon. Stay tuned and subscribe it. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.